Hello and welcome. Was a long time since I said this last time to a new video. We are in Slovenia at Lake Bled. We already drove about 700 kilometers yesterday in my 2021 Tesla Model 3 standard range with LFP battery made in China. And we are on our kind of summer vacation that we had to move pretty early to March. So yeah, we drove towards the south, more or less, where it's kind of warm and not too rainy. Our plan was to go to Spain, but it rains there, so we're not gonna go there. So right now we're here in Slovenia at Lake Bled, which is pretty nice. We're about to head down to Croatia, all the way to the almost southernmost point in Croatia, but that's to come later. We're now gonna go check out a bit of the area here, and then we're gonna head out. The plan is to go all the way through Croatia today, so you're gonna see that, at least that in this video, maybe more, depending on how much I'm planning to film. We'll see about that. But yeah, let's explore the area here and see what it can give us view like stuff. All right, let's go and see what's there. All right, we're back to the car after like wandering all the way up the hill and back down. Pretty crazy. And we were pretty dead, but yeah, we're back to the car now. It's so hot in here because the sun's shining and really strong, even though it's only March. I can show you our trip until now real quick. That's this one here. Spain is rainy, so we're not in Spain. Almost 700 kilometers with an average consumption of 21.7. I'm gonna mount the GoPro real quick and then we are gonna head out towards Dubrovnik. Croatia, which is pretty far, all the way down there. Currently says arrival at 11 p.m, which is fine. Some supercharging stops on the way. 12 minutes, 14 minutes, 33 minutes, and 18 minutes. That's all right. Sounds good. 12 degrees on arrival at final destination. Sounds good as well. Let's see if that works out as planned, but yeah, doesn't sound too bad. 58% for 129 kilometers to go. We charged in the village while having breakfast, and we couldn't charge overnight, sadly, because there were chargers right next to our apartment, but they belonged to a hotel parking lot, and that would have cost like 30 euros for the night, and we really didn't want to pay that if the alternative was to pay 350 on street side parking without charging. So yeah, we're just gonna go to the next supercharger. Not too bad. Wouldn't have made much of a difference, so that's all good. So let's head out. Hello and welcome. Was a long time since I said this last time to a new video. We are in Slovenia at Lake Bled. We already drove about 700 kilometers yesterday in my 2021 Tesla Model 3 standard range with LFP battery made in China. And we are on our kind of summer vacation that we had to move pretty early to March. So yeah, we drove towards the south, more or less, where it's kind of warm and not too rainy. Our plan was to go to Spain, but it rains there, so we're not gonna go there. So right now we're here in Slovenia at Lake Bled, which is pretty nice. We're about to head down to Croatia, all the way to the almost southernmost point in Croatia, but that's to come later. We're now gonna go check out a bit of the area here, and then we're gonna head out. The plan is to go all the way through Croatia today, so you're gonna see that, at least that in this video, maybe more, depending on how much I'm planning to film. We'll see about that. But yeah, let's explore the area here and see what it can give us view like stuff. All right, let's go and see what's there. All right, we're back to the car after like wandering all the way up the hill and back down. Pretty crazy. And we were pretty dead.
Dein Lieblingsbeifahrer ist jetzt aktiv.
Classic. And we were pretty dead, but yeah, we're back to the car now. It's so hot in here because the sun's shining and really strong, even though it's only March. I can show you our trip until now real quick. That's this one here. Spain is rainy, so we're not in Spain. Almost 700 kilometers with an average consumption of 21.7. I'm gonna mount the GoPro real quick and then we are gonna head out towards Dubrovnik. Croatia, which is pretty far, all the way down there. Currently says arrival at half to 11 p.m, which is fine. Some supercharging stops on the way. 12 minutes, 14 minutes, 33 minutes and 18 minutes, that's all right. Sounds good. 12 degrees on arrival at final destination, sounds good as well. Let's see if that works out as planned, but yeah, doesn't sound too bad. 58% for 129 kilometers to go. We charged in the village while having breakfast, and we couldn't charge overnight, sadly, because there were chargers right next to our apartment, but they belonged to a hotel parking lot, and that would have cost like 30 euros for the night, and we really didn't want to pay that if the alternative was to pay 350 on street side parking without charging. So yeah, we're just gonna go to the next supercharger. Not too bad. Wouldn't have made much of a difference, so that's all good. So let's head out. Arrived at the supercharger in Novo Mesto in Slovenia with an average consumption of 15.2 after 131 kilometers for 1.5 hours. Pretty good. We got a charge about 30% here. It told us about 11 minutes, and you can even charge ad hoc here for 52 cents per kilowatt hour. So that's good. Let's see if the button works. No, it doesn't. It's broken. Funnily enough, all the other V4 posts on this trip. Hello? Would you mind communicating? Here we go. All the other V4 posts we had on this trip yesterday, they had all working buttons. Why do I have to tell you this? Well, because yesterday I wasn't even sure if I wanted to make a video, but I decided I wanted to do it. And also the trip that we took yesterday to get to Slovenia, we just ripped down A8 through Germany and then all the way through Austria in the dark. Wasn't that interesting. Nothing interesting happened. We were just cruising down the highway, so I figured I'm just gonna skip that part because you know that already. And if you want to see the trip that we took, pretty much at least 80% of it, you can just watch the video when we road tripped to the Tesla takeover back in May of last year, 2024, because that was basically the same trip, except that we just drove on a bit further. But we also drove to Ljubljana, Slovenia last year in, was it April or something, I think? I'm not sure. Sometime last year. So that was basically the same trip. If you've seen that, you've basically seen what we've done yesterday in the evening. So yeah, now we are on the part that we didn't see before, and that's where it's getting interesting because we can see all the different new charging infrastructure. We also found out that those petrol gas stations that you can see everywhere, they're around at all the rest stops on the highways and in cities and stuff. They do have charging infrastructure quite well, AC and DC, and AC is not even priced that badly. I think with the Shell Recharge card that I have, you can charge there for like 49 cents per kilowatt hour. That's pretty good. But DC is about €1.09 per kilowatt hour, which is insane, and I would never pay that much because why would I? With NBW, I think I would pay about 81, 82 cents per kilowatt hour, which is still bad, but better than 109. But yeah, if I can just go to the supercharger and pay way less, then I'm just gonna do that because that's the more sensible way to do it, even though I have to go to Tesla and make it less interesting and yeah, give Tesla my money instead of some other companies. But well, it just works. Trip planner on this trip also didn't go that bad. It wasn't perfect. Yesterday it did some weird shit, and it always, as soon as I plug in, tells me that I'm ready to continue the trip, even though I'm not, clearly, because I just plugged in. We're already up to 28% state of charge, already 10% into the battery, and we're still getting 144 kilowatts, so that's all good. The next trip will be, I can tap continue trip now, but will it do it? Yeah, 137 kilometers, 1 hour and 37 minutes. So yeah, we need 17% more to be able to arrive, so we're gonna charge up to about 50%, I guess. That's all good. I think we are gonna go check out what's over here and see if we can find any restrooms or something, maybe something to eat, some snack or so. I don't know. There's a Hofer, which is an Aldi basically over there. It's the same, it's just called differently in Austria and apparently also in Slovenia. So they use the Hofer branding here, even though it's Aldi Süd, as you can see over there. There's also like DM and it's basically like all German stores here. What's going on? Yeah, I don't know what's up here, but we're just gonna go around, check that out, and as soon as we're done, we're pretty much ready to continue, I guess, because I just talked for so long that the car already is almost finished. All right, we got us some food and found some restrooms, and the car took way less time than we would have. We're definitely ready to go, so let's unplug, which doesn't work because the button is broken. Let's unlock. 90%! Damn! Which way around did I think this way around? I don't know. Doesn't matter so much. Yeah, looks good. We are about to arrive at the next supercharger with 43% state of charge, so we might think about finding chargers somewhere on this stretch, but I'm not sure if there are any. I think it doesn't show them here, but might be that there are some that they don't know about. There's an Ionity station down here, but I don't think we can make it there. Let's see what it says. Would be a really long stretch. Remove charging stops. Ionity, -2%. We're gonna let it in there and see what's happening. We can still bail out anytime, or if I just wanna do like a quick stop because the supercharger's right off the highway. So yeah, we'll see about that on the road, but for now, let's head out. We just crossed the border. I forgot to film because I didn't notice, but we are in Croatia. Welcome to Croatia. And what the heck is going on with this road here? Oh my god. And there's Alright, here we are in Croatia, apparently. We were so like away with our minds because we were just booking our next stay that we kind of didn't notice that there's the border upcoming. So yeah, Europe things, I guess. We are in Croatia and we have about 100 kilometers to go to the supercharger. We decided to go to the supercharger and not to Ionity because it was like dropping to -3% on arrival, and yeah, so superchargers are the safer choice and the not really better place, because now we're gonna be arriving with 40%, but it is what it is. And I don't even know with which charging card that I have with me I could charge at Ionity in Croatia, so I would have to check that on this drive, and as I'm driving I don't want to really do that. So yeah, we're just gonna go to the supercharger and play it safe, and maybe on the way back we can hit Ionity. We'll see about that. But now we're just gonna head towards the highway, which will come up in about 16 kilometers. Okay, so there was a bit of a development. I checked available charging stations on the road, and of course that's not what we are planning to do, but there is a charger, a non-supercharger fast charger down here, more or less, and we would arrive there with about 15% state of charge, which would be interesting. Now that's a CPO we don't know, and we've never charged at, I think. Maybe we've charged at one in Zagreb last year, but I'm not sure. So we're gonna exit at the next rest stop that has a charger from the same CPO, and we are trying if we can authorize that there. And if that works, we're taking our chances and go down here to that charger in that area down here to be able to charge there without having to take a huge detour for superchargers and stuff, because every time you exit the highway here you have to like pay for the tolls, and if you enter it again you have to pay for them again, basically, and it makes us more expensive. So we try to stay on the highway and just use the rest stops. So yeah, we're trying to do that. We're hitting that test charger in about half an hour and 20 minutes. So that's all good. Let's see if that works out as we want it to. And if so, then we take our chances to go down to the rest stop and charge there, because it's a 178 kilowatt charger, and it was used 6.5 hours ago, so we're pretty confident that it should work, and if we can authorize it, then we should be good to go. Let's hope that all goes well, but spices things a bit up, I would say. Yeah, let's hope that works as planned. Alright, we arrived here at that test charger. Just quick stats, 119 kilometers, 17.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And I'm gonna check if that boy works with my charging card. Alright, so that one's on. NBW is the cheapest option. And it sounds as it works. Let's plug in just to test for a minute or so. Let's see. Doesn't say anything here. That screen always is complete shit. And super slow. Ah no, that's better. Start. Come on. Start! Okay. Contactor is going. We are communicating. And we are charging. So that works. And we're getting some juice at least. It's only a 50 kilowatt charger, so that doesn't say anything about anything. But I'm gonna check what hardware is used at the next rest stop that we plan to use, and then we might be able to go there. Okay, so I did some research, and the rest stop that we are planning to use uses EVBox Ultronic 175 kilowatt units. They are limited to 350 amps of output. When I just remembered what I just read correctly. And another Model 3 driver, wrote on PlugShare that he got 130 kilowatts out of it, which is the max that this car, with its nominal voltage, can get at the max amps that the station can deliver. But the counterpoint, so we would only get 130 kilowatts. The counterpoint is if we go to the supercharger at 40 something %, then we get way less than 130 kilowatts. So we can only win by doing this, I think. So I would say let's take our chances and do that. We're just charging with 44 kilowatts because my friend is inside at the restrooms real quick. But I would say let's do it. Can't lose too much. I mean, yeah, there's not too much infrastructure around there. So if it doesn't work, then we got a problem. But it's got two CCS chargers with 130 kilowatts with this car, and another one with 50. And on all three of them, someone charged today. So the chances that they work are pretty high. So I would say, let's do it. We're gonna try it. We are gonna try it. Alright, let's unplug real quick. 5 kilowatt hours charged in this quick session. Looking good. Let's start this boy, and off we go to the charger that we hope is working and all fine. But I'm confident. Should all be working out quite well. Good thing we're skipping that supercharger. That's a 90 kilowatt max supercharger. Either it's really old, or it's just there's just no energy available over here, so you can't give it more power. But wow, good thing we're not going there, but to the 130 kilowatt for our car, ELN charger in some 100 kilometers or something. That's pretty sure that's the better idea to do it that way. And I also remembered we have Ionity as a backup, which we would have arrived at with 3% before, minus 3% before. Now we just added some percent in the battery with that 50 kilowatt charger just 2 minutes back. So Ionity would be our backup, so that's all good. And the next supercharger in Split that we can hit is also only 125 kilowatts. So I'm not sure if we want to charge there at all or if we want to skip it again. But we'll see about that when the time comes. Great stuff, we made it with 20%. We're here 83 kilometers from the test charger with a consumption of 20.4. So let's take our card, jump out and try what we can get. Start. Come on. CCS. Authenticating, I would say. I don't know what it says, but it's green, so I'm optimistic. Let's try to get this boy. Yeah, 2 minutes to plug in. Looking good. Sounding good. It's really getting fresh out here. It's still 17 or something degrees Celsius, but feels colder. 15. Yeah. Starting to charge. We are communicating, and I heard my contactors going, and here we are. Woo! All right. Day is saved. That's great. 391 kilometers to go to Dubrovnik. So we need at least one more stop if we charge here to, I don't know, 60, 70%, something like that. We should get 130. Do we get more? 137. Damn! That's better than I hoped. Awesome. Let's take a picture of that. 140 almost, and down to 77. Come on. Don't give me that surging thing. 133. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much what we expected. So that's all good. Battery's warm enough with 36 degrees C, but it's still kinda surging a bit. I hope that's gonna stop in a second. Because down to 60 now, it's not too much fun. That's the interesting thing with, oh wow, 43 kilowatts, 34, 31. That looks like broken cable cooling. Kilowatts? What is going on? We got a quick spike and then we fell on our face, and now we're going back up. I'm not sure what's going on. I would guess some kind of grid limitation, maybe instability that it tries to overcome. We're gonna have a look on that, see what it's doing. So we know we can get the 130 kilowatts. If we get 120, I'm completely fine with it. If we regularly go down to 30, then we're gonna go ahead to Ionity, which we should be able to reach by now, theoretically, just as a backup plan. Ionity, just to see what it says. we would make it there. Probably remove charging stops with 4%. So it would be a backup plan if that stays bad. 110 kilowatts. But the problem is, for Ionity, we need to leave the highway. So I'm gonna go check now what our options on this next stretch are, because we need to charge somewhere in here. There's a supercharger in Split, but that's only 125 kilowatts, so not much better than what we got here. And I think there's another supercharger somewhere down here. Somewhere, maybe, let's see. Yeah, here is another one, but that's also only 125 kilowatts. So I'm gonna check my apps, what alternatives there are that can give us more than 125. And with more, I mean 106. I don't know. It's still better than the last supercharger, which would have given us about 90 kilowatts. So at least that's a win. But yeah, 106 instead of 130. It's not that good. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna check all the apps and then we'll see. That's the interesting thing with e-mobility in countries with less dense infrastructure, I would say. Germany is way ahead, just as most other Central European countries. France is really good, Netherlands is awesome, Denmark is great, and even a little bit more eastern to center countries like Austria, which is not really eastern, maybe the eastern tip of it, and also Slovenia worked out pretty well. Now down here in kind of the southeast of Central Europe, that's what gets a bit more interesting, but that's what we're here for, because it is interesting and I do like that. It's a bit heavy on the nerves, but I kind of like it, I have to say, as long as we can still arrive in time at our Airbnb. But we should have enough time, so that shouldn't be a problem. All right, let me check all that and then I'll update you again. All right, so I've got a plan, and I'm just back from the restrooms because I got that plan before. So we are going to supercharger Split next, 125 kilowatts, but that's, as far as I can tell, the best choice we have, as it's reliably 125 kilowatts. The other charger is an ABB 160 kilowatt unit, but I'm pretty sure that they always are like, they say 160 kilowatts, but they are 160 kilowatts at 920 volts, which would give us about maybe 80 kilowatts or something. So not too good. We don't want that. So we're gonna go to the supercharger where we can reliably get 125 kilowatts. And after that, we're not gonna stay there for too long, because after that we're gonna head to Ionity, which is just maybe 60 more kilometers or so, or maybe 100, I don't know, not too much. There we can get full 350 kilowatts, which we can't get, but we can get our 170 kilowatts, which is awesome. And from there we should be good to go to Dubrovnik and make it there in time to get to our Airbnb, which would be awesome. So let's hop in and check that out real quick. We are currently at 78% state of charge and still charging with 70 kilowatts, so not too bad. We would arrive now in Split at the supercharger with 3%. I would give us like 5% more buffer, and then I can feather it in with speed, I guess. And yeah, then we make it to Ionity down here. Of course, we're not going to charge there for 42 minutes, because that would be stupid. And we don't want to arrive at Ionity with 69%. We want to arrive there below 10, maybe. And then it's just like 50% more that we need to charge at Ionity, which is all fine. And then we can make it to Dubrovnik. Currently, it says 10:53 p.m. arrival, but it factors in the 42-minute stop in Split that we won't make. We'll be there maybe for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. So half the time, and then 10, max 15 minutes here. Probably both at the lower end of the numbers I just thought of. So yeah, we will probably save about 20 minutes. So we should be there at 10:30-ish, hopefully, if all goes well. We only need to exit the highway for the supercharger because the supercharger is not on the highway itself. And I think there's probably, yeah, here's the toll station, and it's just over here on the other side of the road. Maybe we can find something to eat there. That would be great because my stomach says I'm hungry, but of course there's nothing right next to it. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. And at Ionity, that's at a rest stop, so let's zoom down here, right off the highway, but not leaving the highway. Ionity is back here, and there is some rest station, rest stop stuff that we might be able to get something. I don't know. We're gonna see about that. Since the last update, my car will also precondition to this Ionity station, even though it's not in the Tesla nav, but in Google Maps, because in Google Maps it's set as a fast charger, and then the car will precondition there, probably. I don't know with these numbers, and it probably thinks we're gonna go to Dubrovnik and panics because we won't make it there. Let's edit our trip and remove Dubrovnik so it can correctly calculate the charge stop. 15 minutes and split. And then we'll still arrive with 30% at Ionity, which we will not do, but I think I can't set it any lower because there's no other charging station it knows of nearby, so it won't let us go below 30% because it thinks you won't make it to any other charger if you arrive lower. So yeah, 8% on arrival. I say we go. Don't sit here with 57 kilowatts anymore and head to supercharger split Croatia. And I just moderated as if I didn't have to unplug first, so let's do that. Chunky plug, some kind of error, but now we're back, good to go. That's great. Could be better, but could also be way worse. So no hate to these stations. They did what we wanted them to do, pretty much, almost 90% of it. So that's good. Let's head to Split. We arrived at the supercharger with 9% state of charge after 181 kilometers in 1 hour and 27 minutes. Average consumption of 19.7. That's all good. And we need 22% more to get to Ionity. So let's get all the 125 kilowatts this V2 supercharger can give us. We're also at 1B. That's all good. All right. Let's see. We are communicating and we are charging. 10 minutes remaining to continue trip. Sounds about right. And I think we saw this guy before on the highway. Standard range 2021 with the silver rims. I think this might be the one. Anyway, we're charging at 125 flat. All the supercharger can give. There's not much more it can output, so we gotta be happy with that. Yeah, and we need about 35, 37, 40%, something like that, to have some buffer to arrive with 10-ish% again. Works quite well. So yeah, I don't think we can find much to eat here. We could go over to the Cafe Bar Sheriff, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of hungry, so would be nice if there were something we knew here, some McDonald's or Burger King or something like that, even though it's always stupid, but at least you know what you get. Yeah, I don't know. We should be at Ionity at 8:10, and there we need to charge to like 50-60%, and then it's probably another 1.5 hours from there, probably, I guess. But at least we can get good speeds there, so that's good. Yeah, great. So let's wait for those some percent to get into the battery, and then we can continue on. All right, so the car is at 40%. We're gonna be arriving with 9. As soon as I'm done talking, we will be finished, and we're down to 100 kilowatts. That can't be by the car, can it? No. Pretty sure that's not. But still weird. We could charge with way more at 40% normally. So what is going on? Doesn't matter. We're gonna be arriving with 10%. Car says we're ready to go. My watch sends me a notification, so we are good to go. Let's unplug. Looking good. Close. And head out to Ionity in about 64 kilometers on the side of the highway. We can charge there with NBV and NBV only, because all the other charging cards that I have won't work here, because there's no roaming in Croatia with that many MSPs apparently. But not too bad, NBV works, so that's all good. There's also some triple chargers in Dubrovnik where we can charge the car tomorrow, so we're gonna check that we will arrive in Dubrovnik with maybe 30-40% if possible, depending on how far it is from Ionity to there. We're gonna see about that, but that's a future me problem. So the first thing is to get to Ionity, and then we'll see. And then we'll hopefully also find something to eat, because it's time for that. We had some chips here, so that's all okay. We're not dying, but we're close to it, so food isn't too bad. Yeah, right, 36 minutes to go. That's an easy one. So let's rip over there, plug in, juice up, and be happy, I guess. That's a wild crossing here. All right, let's go. Just arrived at Ionity with 7% state of charge after 65 kilometers and an average consumption of 25.8, because we heated the battery and went quite quick in half an hour. We are almost too far from known charging locations. Well, tell you what, there's 2 and there's 4 more, so no problem here. Let me grab my NBV card real quick, which is down here. Open up the charge port and jump out. I parked on the wrong side because I was confused, but doesn't matter. Let's poke that on here. Looking good, I think. Let's hope the cable reaches. Yeah. Connect. Yank it out. Kinda hard with one hand. Come on. Are we good? Are we good? Charging stopped. Yes. Big contactors are going over there. Sounded like someone was hit by something. We are communicating, so that's all good. I should have parked on the other side, but whatever. Also funny that they start counting at 5 because 1 to 4 will be here and they don't exist yet. Slow clap, Ionity. You can count really well. 45 kilowatts, 58, 63. We are ramping up. Okay, fine. That's good. We're gonna let it ramp up. Meanwhile, we are gonna find something to eat, but first I'm gonna send in the address of our Airbnb real quick. 169 kilowatts. That's what we love to see. So Ionity here works great apparently. Love it. Way better than the Elen fast chargers before, but at least we got better speeds than at the supercharger, so all good. I just sent in the destination, which I would like to see, but I would have to drive to begin and it won't let me. 2-hour drive apparently, because we need to go around Bosnia-Herzegovina around here. So that's interesting. 158 kilometers, I think it just said, or 153, something around that. So we should charge to, I don't know, 60, 70, 80%, something like that. But it goes quickly here, so we're just gonna let it charge and we're gonna run over there and hope that the store is open, because there's a construction site over there. Let's see if it works. If we get something to eat, that would be awesome. And yeah, then we will see as soon as we get food, hopefully, when we're back here, how far we can make it and how far we have to go. And I want to keep climate, which I can't yet because we're below 20% apparently. We are not, and we are charging, so why the heck? Charging required. We are charging. Stupid thing. Why is it so dumb sometimes? I don't know. Anyway, let's keep climate on and go eat. Alright, we're up to 80%. Doesn't make sense to wait here at 54 kilowatts any longer. We want to go to a gas station to get some food because this one's closed up there, or it's being renovated, whatever. We can't get something there, so we're unplugging and maybe then stop at the supercharger in that village as well to get the last some percent to not arrive. Oh wow, yeah, to arrive with 40-ish% in Dubrovnik. But we'll see about that. Let's head out now and get there. We arrived with 69% at the supercharger. Was completely useless, but the more juice we can get, the better. Come on. Wow. Oh, no. Here we go. Just took some time. Yes. Alright. We are communicating and we are running over to the gas station to get restrooms and food. Alright, so we got some food, some super cheap croissants filled with chocolate and stuff. Wild. So that gas station back there was still open, but as we're in a random village somewhere in Croatia, of course there's no restrooms in there. So my car is charging at the supercharger in this village. We get food, but the infrastructure lets us people more down than my car. Because my car is all fine, but we aren't. So, oh well, I don't know. There's also no more rest stop at on the whole piece of highway that's ahead of us, which is 180 kilometers or something, or 160. So that's interesting. Also, some parts of it aren't highway because there's no highway yet. And we have to take a bridge to like a half island to go around Bosnia, because Croatia decided that Bosnia won't have any piece of beach except for that tiny bit. And we have to go around it because Croatia has some land before that in front of it in the ocean, or the sea more. Yeah, so that's an interesting development. There's also nothing open here anymore. Everything else except for that gas station is dead. It's 9 p.m. It's not like it's that late, but also it's not a big town. It's a small village, and there's no more big towns until Dubrovnik. So I guess that's just how it is. Guess we gotta, like, yeah, I don't know. And there's still a car coming. Wow. Yeah, so that's interesting around Croatia in the evening. Let's go back to the car and think of some kind of solution, maybe. We were successful with our mission. We just went into the hotel restaurant over there. We just went in and went back out, and they didn't complain, so I guess it was alright. Also, we pay €1 for parking here in the parking lot, so gotta be alright. Let's unplug. We're at 97% state of charge, so that's all good. Yeah, let's just keep the money in the pocket, and then we should be all good to go. Let's hope we are in time to reach our destination, our Airbnb. Sorry for the bad camera work. I'm trying to get rid of my jacket here, and that's a bit complicated with one hand. So let's unplug right here. Right. And jump in the car and go. We should be arriving not at the gas station. We've been there. Remove. Okay. Let's see. 11:12. I gotta get 12 minutes out of the drive. Let's try. But we're gonna be arriving there with 51%. That's awesome. Alright, we arrived at our Airbnb next to the old town of Dubrovnik, which is this thing, I think. Yeah. We had a consumption of 13.7 on 133 kilometers in the last 1 hour and 47 minutes, and we arrived with 59%. And you wouldn't believe me if I told you, but those are the streets we drove through. And all the way back, this is like a dead end. All the way at the back of the dead end, there's a parking lot of a house with a Taycan from Ireland. So yeah, that was funny. But yeah, we're all good. 60% is good enough for all the sentry mode we need. Now we can pack our stuff and go into our Airbnb. And yeah, I don't know how long this video is. If it's time, then thank you very much for watching and see you guys in the next one. Bye!